Loneliness doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like scrolling through your phone with no one to text, heating up dinner for one, watching another show just to fill the silence. In our world, millions of people feel this way every single day. It's quiet, and slowly that quiet turns into something heavier, but then something changes. You hear the soft padding of paws across the floor, a warm little body hops onto the couch, a slow blink, a purr, a tiny nudge of a head against your arm. It's a cat, and suddenly, the silence doesn't feel so empty. Many people adopt a cat thinking they're just getting a pet, something cute to take care of. But for countless people, especially those living alone, that cat becomes something much more. A reason to wake up in the morning, someone to greet when they come home. A small, living presence that simply exists with them. Cats don't judge. They don't ask, "Why are you so quiet?" Or "Why haven't you left the house?" They don't push. They just show up. And for people drowning in their own thoughts, that quiet companionship can be everything. Seniors, single adults, even young people working remotely, so many say the same thing. My cat saved me. Not with dramatic acts, but with tiny, everyday moments. A purr when you're crying, a paw on your chest when anxiety hits, a warm body that curls up right when you need it most. And the science backs it up. Studies show that having a cat can lower stress levels, reduce feelings of isolation, and even help with depression. Why? Because having something or someone to care for gives your day meaning, even if it's just refilling a food bowl or brushing a soft coat. It's not just about the routine, it's about connection. It might seem simple, too simple even, but for someone who hasn't felt needed in a long time, a cat can be a lifeline. And here's the most beautiful part. They ask for so little in return. You don't need to say the right thing, you don't need to pretend, you just need to be there, and they'll be there too. The healing power of a purr. Have you ever had a cat curl up next to you and start to purr? That soft, steady sound, like a tiny engine rumbling quietly under their fur, can feel like magic. And maybe it kind of is, because that purring isn't just comforting, it's healing. Literally. Scientists have discovered that a cat's purr vibrates at a frequency between 20 and 150 hertz. And that's not just random noise. These frequencies match those used in medical treatments to promote healing. They help reduce inflammation, ease pain, and even support bone and muscle repair. It's like nature built a therapy machine inside your cat. But even more powerful than the physical effects are what purring does to your mind. When you're anxious, when your thoughts are racing, when you can't seem to calm down, a cat's purr can feel like someone pressing the pause button in your brain. Your breathing slows, your heart rate steadies, the noise inside you starts to fade. And it's not just your imagination. When you spend time petting a cat, feeling their warmth, listening to that soothing rhythm, your brain releases oxytocin. That's the same chemical that helps mothers bond with their babies. It makes you feel safe, connected, cared for. At the same time, your stress hormone cortisol starts to drop. That's why so many people say they sleep better when their cat is with them, or that they feel less anxious when their cat is close by. It's not superstition, it's science. Even more amazing? Cats seem to know when you need that comfort most. Ask any cat owner and they'll tell you, cats have a sixth sense. They come to you when you're feeling down. They curl up in your lap when the world feels heavy. They don't ask what's wrong, they just show up and stay. And somehow, that makes things feel just a little more okay. There's a quiet strength in the way cats love. It's not loud or demanding, it's gentle, steady. And in a world that often feels rushed and overwhelming, that kind of love can be a lifeline. So next time you hear a cat purring, don't brush it off. That sound might be soft, but its power runs deep. And sometimes that's exactly what a lonely heart needs. Not noise, not words, but quiet, healing presence. When a cat becomes the reason to keep going. Not all heroes wear capes. Some have whiskers and a habit of knocking things off tables. But make no mistake, for many people, a cat has been the one thing standing between them and total despair. Across the country, people are sharing their stories, and they all start the same way. With loneliness, a bad breakup, the loss of a spouse, a move to a new city, retirement, emptiness, silence. That's where the cat comes in. Like a quiet guest who doesn't ask for much but somehow fills the entire room with warmth. There's the man in Michigan who didn't speak to anyone for almost a year after losing his wife. His daughter brought him a rescued tabby, just to give him something to do. He named her Lucy. Within a few weeks, he started talking to her. Then laughing. Then gardening again. He says, "I don't know if I saved her, or she saved me." Or the young woman in Seattle who battled panic attacks daily. Therapy helped, but she still woke up every morning with fear in her chest. One day, she adopted a small scruffy kitten who had been left behind in an alley. That kitten, now a full-grown cat named Bean, never leaves her side. When the panic hits, Bean lays on her chest, purring. Her breathing slows, her hands stop shaking. She says, "He's not a pet, he's my partner." And then there's the veteran in Florida. Haunted by memories, struggling with PTSD, he had trouble sleeping, even being indoors. One day, while working in his garage, a skinny stray cat wandered in and refused to leave. That cat now sleeps at the foot of his bed. He says he hasn't had nightmares since. "She watches over me," he says, "like she knows." These stories aren't rare. They're everywhere. Cats have this way of showing up in the darkest moments, often uninvited, unexpected, and just in time. They don't ask questions. They don't need to understand your past. They just give you something to hold on to. A routine, a reason to get out of bed, a heartbeat other than your own. And the beautiful part? The love is mutual. You save them from the shelter, from the street, from hunger, and they save you right back. From loneliness, from emptiness, from yourself. There's something powerful about that kind of bond. It's not flashy, it's not loud, it just is. Strong, quiet, real. So when people say it's just a cat, they don't understand. Because for someone who feels invisible, unheard, or completely alone, a cat can be the first sign that they matter again. And sometimes, that's all it takes to start healing. Sometimes, healing has 4 paws and a purr. Loneliness is a quiet thing. It doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just sits beside you, day after day, until you forget what connection even feels like. But then, a soft paw, a small face, a pair of curious eyes that look straight into yours, and everything starts to shift. Cats don't fix everything. They won't pay your bills or solve your problems, but they offer something many of us are desperate for: comfort without condition, presence without pressure, love without words. They remind us that we're not invisible, that even in silence, we can be seen, that even in stillness, we can matter. And maybe that's why so many people say their cat saved them. Because in a world that often feels cold and disconnected, a little creature with fur and a heartbeat can bring warmth back to your life. So now, we want to hear from you. Has a cat ever helped you through a hard time? Do you have a story of how a whiskered friend came into your life when you needed it most? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else feel a little less alone today. Because sometimes, healing doesn't come in big, dramatic moments. Sometimes it just curls up next to you and starts to purr.